Hello everyone, welcome to day 54 of our year of yoga. As we bring our hands to heart center, setting an intention for the day. Today's practice is all about flexibility and increasing flexibility through the legs in particular. So I'm just going to run through some seated cat-cows here. So curling the back, pulling back on the knees as we exhale, and then inhaling, taking the chest forward and the head rolls back, curling the body in the opposite direction as we come into this seated cat pose. Inhaling into cow, exhaling. Just find your own flow with this one. Just linking each transition with your breath. One more time. Taking a big deep breath in, planting down through the right hand, bringing the left arm up and over the head, taking our gaze towards the sky as we come over to the left side now. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. I'm just going to swing side to side here. Just giving our bottom and our hip a bit of a slap as we go. Really warming up those back muscles. Quickening the breath. Making sure our gaze is tracking and going in the same direction as our shoulders. Taking the left leg long now, hugging the right leg or the right knee in towards the chest as we sit high on our sit bones. Taking our gaze to the left side of the body. Feeling a beautiful stretch through the right glute. Just breathing deeply into any tight spots here. Extending the right leg. Hugging the left knee in towards the chest now, sitting nice and tall, and taking our gaze to the right side. We don't need to twist the body here, we just want to make sure we're creating elongation through the spine. It should be a deep enough stretch without having to add the twist. Coming into butterfly pose now, soles of the feet meet just before the pelvis, pushing the knees down towards the mat as we interlace the fingers around the feet and pull our shoulders away from our ears. Again, sitting nice and tall. Just taking a couple of rounds of breath here. Extending the left leg long, big deep inhalation, and then exhaling, reaching for the toes or the shin. And then bringing the right arm up and over. And on every exhale, just trying to go a little bit further. Should be feeling a nice stretch in the back of the left leg here. Sitting up tall, changing legs, right leg goes long, left leg tucks into the pelvis. On the exhale, we're coming down, and then the left arm comes up and over the head. Big deep breath in, and the exhale, trying to reach a little bit further. can grab your toes, do that as well. Or you might even be able to get your palm onto the sole of your foot. Both legs are out on a 45-degree angle now. Sitting tall, big deep breath in. And then exhaling, forward folding the upper body over the legs. Well, over the gap between the legs. If you can come down on your forearms, that's perfect. Maybe grabbing the shins and pulling the body closer to the mat. Reaching for the toes if you can. And coming over into tabletop position. We're going to run through some cat-cows here. So just setting up, inhaling as we drop the stomach towards the mat, taking our gaze high. Exhaling as we look through the legs. Inhaling. Exhaling into cat as we round the back towards the sky. Inhaling. Exhaling. Finding your flow. Connecting to breath. Taking the arms out in front as we melt our upper body towards the mat. Gently resting our forehead on the mat. You can stay up on the hands, come onto the forearms, or you can interlace the fingers and pull the hands behind the head. Get a bit more of an arm stretch. Pushing up off the hands. Tucking the toes and just holding the knees up off the mat as they hover. Embracing the core here. Making sure wrists are under elbows, elbows are under shoulders, and then pushing back into downward facing dog. Maybe pedaling out the legs if that feels good. Bringing the left foot in between the hands, dropping the right knee to the mat, raising our arms up above the head in this low lunge position, maybe leaning back and getting a bit more of a curve in the spine. I'm going to grab the right foot with the right hand, the left arm is stretched out high as we get this beautiful stretch through our quad of our right leg. And then gently releasing the foot back to the earth. And then sinking deeper into this low lunge, feeling a beautiful stretch through the pelvis. Planting the right hand on the mat as we twist the upper body now, taking the left hand towards the sky. And then bringing the left hand back to frame the front foot. Shifting the body back, taking the hips backward, maintaining a bend through the leg so that we get a beautiful deep stretch in the hamstring and behind the knee, and then taking the body forward as we lean back into the low lunge. Just rolling through this motion a couple of times, maintaining connection with the mat through the feet and the hands. Last time. then kicking the left foot back to meet the right in downward facing dog. Bringing the right foot between the hands, dropping the left knee to the mat. Both arms up above our head, coming into low lunge. Maybe leaning back, sinking a little bit deeper into the pose. And then grabbing the left foot with the left hand and stretching the left leg as our right arm goes long. Gently releasing the foot back to the mat. Planting down through the left arm, rotating the upper body, right arm goes towards the sky. Framing the front foot, leaning deeper into the low lunge, and then gently shifting the hips backward as we stretch the hamstring and behind the knee. And do that 3 times. Breathing in, leaning into the lunge, and then exhaling as we pull back into this hamstring stretch. One more time. Awesome. Kicking back into downward facing dog. And then bringing the knees underneath the hips as we let them hover again above the mat, engaging the core, embracing the shoulders and the upper arms. Breathing. Back into downward facing dog. And then walking the feet between the hands, coming into a forward fold. Halfway lift, forward fold, big deep breath in, bringing hands to heart center as we come into Tadasana. Fingertips are spread wide, chest is out and proud, shoulders are away from the ears, rotating your thighs in towards each other. And then taking the right leg, we're going to come into tree pose. So the right foot is on the inside of the thigh, left thigh. Hands in prayer position at heart center, and just focusing on something that's not moving ahead of you to maintain balance. And then we're just going to bring our right knee up in front of us. And then kick that right leg back behind into airplane pose. You might get a giggle at how many times I hop around, trying to gather my balance here. I think I actually end up off the mat. We're not all perfect. And then you can either keep the hands at prayer position here, or you can spread them wide in this T section, trying to get the body parallel with the mat. And then slowly coming back up to standing. And change over to the other side, so the left foot comes on the inside of the right thigh. Arms come up and overhead in prayer position as we lower our hands to our heart space. Grounding down through that right leg, embracing the core, steady focus, and then bringing that left knee to the front of the body. then kicking the left leg back, slow and controlled. Keeping hands in prayer position and then taking the arms out to the side so we get our body as parallel to the floor as we can. And then gently, softly bringing the left leg back in front and then joining the right foot on the mat. Standing back into Tadasana, fully aligned, connected, grounded, feeling the energy come through you from the bottom of your feet as we inhale, arms overhead, hands to prayer position as we forward fold with straight legs. If you can make it all the way to the floor, please do so. I can only make it to my shins, and then halfway lift, forward fold, bending the legs and kicking them back into downward facing dog. Tucking the left leg under the body, 90-degree angle here, taking the right leg long, foot is flat on the mat, staying high on the hands. If this is a deep enough stretch for you, then feel free to stay here. Otherwise you can come down onto the forearms if that feels good, or even cross the forearms over and gently rest the forehead on top of the arms. This is your practice, so listen to your body and do what you feel is best for your physical body today. Big deep round of breath here as we come back up onto our hands, raising our arms above our head, and then grabbing the right foot with our right hand, getting a stretch through the top of the right leg, left arm goes long, and then kicking both feet back to meet in downward facing dog. We're going to hover the knees above the mat one more time. Toes are tucked, knees are under the hips, wrists are under the shoulders, neutral spine, engaging the core, and then bringing the right leg underneath the body in a 90-degree angle as we come into pigeon on this side. Left leg goes long, toes are untucked. Again, stay up on the hands if that's deep enough for you today. Otherwise, come down onto your forearms or gently resting the forehead on the arms. Coming back up onto the hands now, taking the arms high above head, and then grabbing the left foot with the left hand. Right arm goes out long, and then gently releasing the left foot back to the mat and meeting in downward facing dog. Dropping to our knees and coming onto our bottom. We're just going to do a little bit of ab work here. So coming into boat pose or a V-sit hold. And then taking the arms overhead, we're going to slowly lower the body, but not letting the head or the shoulders or the feet touch the mat. So inhaling on the way down, exhaling as we come up. And then gently bringing the whole body onto the mat. I'm going to run through some lying cat-cows now. So tilting the pelvis up towards the head and then taking the chest high towards the sky as we come up onto our head. And then tilting the pelvis again. Find your flow with this movement. You should be feeling it through the thoracic part of the back. And then just coming back to neutral spine. I'm going to take the feet wide here and then take the knees to the left side, then over to the right. Just windscreen wiping the legs from side to side, feeling that beautiful stretch through the lower back. And then just placing the left ankle and the right knee, gently pushing that knee towards the mat. Just for a little bit of a deeper stretch here. And over to the other side, right ankle on left knee. Remembering to breathe. Coming back to center. Just letting the knees fall into each other for a moment. Just settling down our nervous system. And then taking the legs long as we come into our final resting pose, Savasana. Palms face up or face down. And just relaxing. Relaxing the mind. Relaxing the forehead. Relaxing the eye sockets. The cheekbones. Maybe moving the tongue away from the top of the mouth. Relaxing the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, the biceps, the forearms, and the hands. And just letting any tension that's caught in this upper body to be released out of the fingertips. It's no longer serving us, so this is your opportunity to let it go. And then relaxing the chest and the upper back. Relaxing the diaphragm, the abdominals, the lower back. Relaxing the sacrum and the hips and the glutes. Relaxing the hamstrings and the thighs, the knees, the calves, ankles, feet and our toes. And then just releasing any tension that's caught in this lower body to shoot out the end of our toes back into the atmosphere. We don't need that tension. We don't need the stress. We don't need any negative energy in our body right now, as we allow ourselves to go deeper and deeper into this relaxed state. Starting to bring some awareness and movement back into the body now. Maybe stretching the arms above the head, stretching the fingertips back. Maybe stretching the arms back. Bending the wrists in the opposite direction, stretching the forearms. When you're ready, rolling onto one side. And then pushing up into a seated position. We're going to finish with a little nostril breath work. So bringing the middle finger and forefinger to the third eye. We're going to close off the right side of our nostril as we take a big inhalation, and then blocking that nostril with our thumb, breathing out the other side, and then breathing in the same side, releasing the thumb as we close off the other nostril with our finger, breathing in, closing it off with our thumb, and then exhaling through the opposite nostril. So if you can imagine the breath coming in one nostril, coming up and over the forehead, and then out the other side in this beautiful loop. And just finding your own pace before coming back to center, resting the hands on our knees. Bringing hands to prayer position in our third eye now. May we have kind and loving thoughts today as we lower them to our mouth. May we speak kind and loving words today as we lower them to our heart space. May we have kind and loving intentions today. Thank you for joining me in this practice. I hope something magical happens to you today. Namaste.